Let's take a look at how we can run a VM inside VMware and how we can get some files over to the data store that we need for VMware usage. So I'm doing this from my home machine, recording it. Hopefully you'll be able to see it clearly enough that you can follow what I'm doing. First I'm going to start the VMware vSphere software, the client software. So let's get that going. I'm going to basically remote into my server. So again, just to reiterate here, the username for the admin account there is always by default root, and we're using our conventional password here from our class. You can ignore the certificates, we're not doing any of that. So let's go in and see what I've got on my host machine. Your machine will look a little different, but also very similar. You probably don't have all these here, so I have a number of things going. So let's real quickly review on how to create a VM. In this case, this has to do with just quickly creating a VM itself. And so new virtual machine, right clicking there, you can go with the typical default and hit the next button, give it a name. I'm going to call it VM test 1. Oops, if I can type. Right, and I will store it on my data store by default. It will create its own folder, and we'll take a look at that here in another video. So there's next. I'm going with Microsoft 2008 R2 64-bit. That's good. We're going to provision a virtual disk size of 80 gigabytes, and we're going to be thin provisioned so that it can expand and contract on its own and handle the load balancing as a result of that on the drive. Right, hit the next button, and then here hit the edit piece so that we can go into the settings and make some adjustments if we need to. And we also need to tell it to utilize the ISO file that we have on our data store. So click continue, and it brings you into this screen. And so what we want to do now is go find the ISO file that's on our data store. Click new here. There's the data store ISO file option. Click on that, hit the browse button, open up data store, ISOs. So just like on the Hyper-V stuff, I've got myself organized in folders. So we want to go through here and choose the proper one here. Here's my 2008 server R2. There's my ISO file for the server install that we've been using. Click the OK button and hit finish. Alright, so from here you pretty much know how to do the rest of this, so I'm not going to go into all of it. What I will do is simply get it started and make a couple of comments along the way. So here's test 1. I've selected it. I'm now going to right click on it, hit power, and power on. The other option is to go ahead and open the console, which opens up a window like so. And what you can do with that is then you can hit the start button up here and tell it to power on. And when you do that, it'll show you that it's either working or not. So in this case, this is where I showed you earlier that I have missed a setting to get it to power on. So let's click on this power off here and turn it off and go back. Right, so let's close that out. So once again, right click on the VM listing. Let's go to settings and come down to the CD and make sure you hit the connect power on piece and then click OK. Alright, that tells it to actually utilize the boot features within the virtual machine. So let's try it again. Right click, open the console. Okay, maybe not. Let's try a reset here. Maybe I messed up whether it was still running. I'm not sure what I did. Let's try it. My mistake. There we go. So anyway, shouldn't have seen that last little screenshot, but that's what's going on. So I'm not going to record all of this. I think that's enough for right where we're at with right now. So I'm going to leave it at that and we'll go from there. Alright? We'll see you in the next video.